Hey guys, this is Mitch, and we are once more unto the breach, dear friends. Once more. Pretty much all of the Shakespeare I remember is from Star Trek 6. But we're back at Blood Force. This is issue 3, of course, and we're checking out page 7. So we've moved on from the fun fight scene, and now we're drawing a sexy lady scene. Ooh. No, we're getting to the courtroom drama, basically, which is a little bit different. You, as Will Sportasio once said, you have two kinds of comics panels. He said, I'm already fucking it up. Basically, it's basically fun stuff and boring stuff you get to draw. You can draw fights, action, or I suppose comedy, and then you got to draw basically filler. That was the word he used, filler. And this is kind of a filler, I was going to say page. This is a filler sequence, really. So the action stuff took the last 6 pages. This filler sequence, I suppose, or I mean, it's more of a comedy sequence, really. But in terms of just drawing it, when there's no dialogue on the page, it does end up looking like filler at least. So this is going to be Max Strumis presenting before the UN, I don't know, some kind of council, some UN council that is reviewing her petition for aid, basically, for the Maxtricians. Where you get the impression we're on the next step of an ongoing negotiation to negotiate terms to decide whether or not it's appropriate for Earth to try and house Maxtrician refugees, what they're going to get in return, does anybody oppose this kind of thing, so all that kind of stuff. So it is just going to be a lot of people talking and sitting in a boardroom for 7 pages. So that'll be hilarious, right? So yeah, I've already mapped out the easy panels here. It's not hard to tell what's the stuff I prefer to draw. So just people and faces and figures, and then everything else can kind of go to hell. And yeah, I'm not even gonna pencil too much of the background. A lot of these, the background can kind of be done. The most important thing is to get an impression of the background, how it works for me. I mean, it's probably better practice to completely map out the background, so in case you need anything to interact with anybody, that sort of thing. And this guy here, so he's kind of the leader of this particular council, or the spokesman, I suppose. And I started out with kind of an Eric Larson look to him. And his forehead got way too bulbous. And I'm probably going to have to repair that, actually. So, yeah, you will not see him, this is his Samuel Stearns moment, and you will not see this repeat. And this was a bit of a mistake with the perspective on the desk in front of him, I believe. I think I do. Oh, no, I don't either. I got the page right next to me here. I left that shit. All right. Anybody gonna notice? I don't know. They might. Maybe if I cover it up with dialogue. I might do that too. And now we get to the stuff that is still not particularly fun, really. But I did a decent enough job of mapping it out. It's not going to be too much of a problem. So, Lady Maxtrician, of course, the star attraction for Blood Force, probably. For some people, I suppose. And, the idea of her presenting to, a security council in, essentially a designer bikini, that's the sort of thing strikes me as funny. And, yeah, I didn't go with a template for the boobs. Okay. Sometimes I do. I feel like they're getting larger as the series progresses, sometimes between panels. I did actually try to map out the shines on her boobs there. I'm trying to get away a little bit from the initial Jim Lee thing I had going on, and trying to actually figure out how the light sources work. I think that turned out pretty well, actually. Getting more comfortable every time. Drawing faces. Her chin still gets too big, but whatever. Getting more comfortable drawing her hair because I'm trying less to make it lifelike. Now it's more like a weird-ass helmet. And that works better for me somehow. She's a little elongated, but no, this is one of the better pictures of her probably. And of course, Hawkstab bringing up the rear, so to speak. And he's going to be determined. That's the point of Hawkstab in this one. He's here for moral support. Or did I get rid of that hand? I thought I had a hand done. Just check here on the real thing. Oh yeah, I did white it out. Okay. I had to feel it. Yeah, a lot of the penciling gets done as I'm getting closer, which is probably a really bad way to do these things. That's a great way to get yourself stuck in a corner. But I get a decent idea of where the page is going beforehand. And honestly, if I get stuck in a corner, you know, if the pencils don't work, you can usually find a way out of it. If you can't, that's what whiteout's for. And if you still can't after that, well, I mean, you know, you brought that shit on yourself. I can live with it. All right, so they're approaching the council here. And originally they were just going to be walking. And I thought it'd be kind of funny to have Hawkstab staring at Max Tremus's ass while they're approaching. It's kind of thing, it's, I don't know how obvious it'll be, but these are the kind of things I need to put in there to amuse myself, you know. Yeah, just right at it. No fucking subtlety about it. That's the Hawkstab way. And yeah, this is the first time I think drawing this hair from the back in this manner, and I like how it turned out, kind of. It's not fantastic or anything, but it's okay. But yeah, she's really swaying that thing. So I mean, you know, you can see how his attention might be sort of diverted. And this big desk thing here is kind of realistic in that there is something like that in the UN Secretariat, I believe. In one of the buildings, I think it's actually in the visitor center, not in the big, you know, the room where the UN meets. Maybe that makes more sense. Because, I mean, we're not having a full council here. This is more key representatives. So they're more like just taking information in. And yeah, you can see already, like I've already shrunken his forehead here. So I knew right away, oh no, that's no good. Not sure how I fixed that, to be honest. Like, it could probably be done. Is it gonna, you know, take away from it a little? I'm not sure. It could. Yeah, and this is the kind of stuff. It's just, at least it's quick to draw, but it is, you know, you gotta just get it out of the way. And then put in some background, which is just like, okay, I don't know, what's enough where I can get out of this panel now? You know, you can draw a line. Is this enough? No. Is this one enough? No. How about now? How about one more? Okay, one more. And yeah, so entering into the hall here, did this page in kind of reverse order, I suppose. Yeah, not a bad idea to keep drawing them from this angle, just because, you know, it'll give me a chance to work on backs, which are difficult. The fronts are easy to memorize the musculature of. The backs, not so much. particularly I think because they change so much depending on how your arms are situated. The fronts, kind of, unless the arms are like, you're stretching either out or up. Your torso still remains roughly the same. The backs they seem to change wildly depending on where your arms are. So yeah, I mean, this kind of thing where it's a fairly small panel, I'm probably just going to fake it. But if it's something where somebody's obviously flexing and it's a big panel, something like that, then yeah, I'll probably use reference for that. Yeah, we're adding a bit of flair to that hair from the back. Not bad. And I think the pose is pretty good, actually. The butt cheek on the panel below this, I got a little off center. It feels like, unless she's really sashaying. This one looks a bit more naturalistic. And again, it just looks ridiculous to be walking into like an official UN function like that. But you gotta let it go, right? Because she's an alien. And it's like, oh, that's probably just her custom. I'm undecided yet whether it's custom and she's like completely oblivious, or she's just like kind of enjoying the opportunity to, I don't know, like just put people in a state of discomfort. That could be it too. Like give her a bit of a psychological edge. Although these guys aren't particularly bothered, or at least they're not externally. And yeah, even tinier figures. And you got to outline them a little bit so that the one on the left here is going to be a matter of focus for the next few pages. And you can see there's somebody behind him and that'll play into things. Yeah, kept it pretty simple for this. I'm fine with. There's going to be a fair amount of dialogue on these pages, hopefully. If I didn't space them out too much, I may have. And then I'll let the colorist figure out the rest, assuming that there's a colorist. Still not determined yet. And then flat head-on shot of the UN Secretariat building here. Trust me, even if you are blinded, that's what's going on. And this is the visitor center. Put the little doors in there with the little stairs. And since those are the stairs that Max Dreamus and Hochstab walked in the issue prior, don't forget the gigantic crater in the wall that Cyberzerk left. And yeah, you could go into more detail, but I think this is okay so long as, yeah, you finish off the main UN building here. And by finish, I mean, like, it's pretty basic, really. It's just shapes. Little bit of shading. Do some windows behind. Which I keep hoping I've come up with a good enough shine for, and I don't think I've really found one that I like yet. But that all looks okay. Then you do this, and it's like, meh. It's all right. Could be better. But that, Oh, and this. Okay, so on the floor of this room in real life. No, not in real life. This was a suggestion to fill up the space. Right. And thank you to the chat for that. No, for real though. It's a good idea. So we decided to put the UN logo, symbol, something like that, on the floor here. And I decided to try and make it somewhat realistic. Which is actually really difficult. I'm not a design guy. So this isn't the kind of thing that comes naturally to me. And it's like, so you get the laurels here, and then, yeah. And then kind of a globe from the top down. And then sort of approximations of the continents. And then you get this bit here with, yeah, the grids coming out. And yeah, I got sick of ruling it pretty quick. So yeah, just freehand. And the end result isn't terrible, I think. I think it's the kind of thing you can... I mean, if you're looking closely, you can see, okay, this was obviously freehand. This is not some sort of CG thing, and there's bits that are a little funky. But not too bad overall. And that's the page. I mean, it was very quick. I think I was done the page in like probably 4 hours would be my guess, and then I moved on to finish up page 6, which was still required. But yeah, so that's the beginning of this next sequence. We got 6 more of these pages to go, so I'm going to be throwing in as many sight gags as I can, really, to try and keep it interesting. So, and hopefully I'll have a bit to talk about on these revisits. No, not revisits, commentaries as well. There you go. So, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the next one's coming up. And then go into the description and click the link for my Patreon. If you subscribe there, that gives you access to everything I do. So you'll be able to see the Blood Force pages, these ones here, like what I was doing today, as soon as I finish them generally, or at least the day of. You'll also get the completed Blood Force comics. You'll get these YouTube videos before they get uploaded, usually a week or so in advance. And there's some Patreon exclusive content, so that's well worth checking out. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.